Hey, it's Tetris Tuesday at 10:03 o'clock, and I'm going to jump right into this one because I don't know how many people love the talky parts. So if you're here for the game, don't worry, it's coming up. But oftentimes, as I'm headed through the history of various Tetris games, a couple things will happen. Number one, I'll become fascinated. So if that doesn't happen to you, it's going to be hard to relate here for a few. But that happened to me again this week, and I figured out why at the very least, because we're going back a bit to pre-guideline. The Tetris guideline was something that got set up either with or shortly after or in combination contemporarily with Tetris Worlds. And since then, I've had kind of a lot less to say. I can still talk about the developer. I can still talk about, with some exceptions, the Grandmaster series being one of them, which appears to have something of a, I don't know if it's a blank slate or a free ticket, but they are allowed some leeway, it appears, from the Tetris company to do their own thing to fantastic effect. So I can see why they would let them do that. But for the most part, now, after Tetris Worlds, I play a lot of Tetris games that are guideline, they toe the guideline. Compliant was the word I was looking for. So because of that, there's maybe a little less variation to what's going on with the games here and there, a little bit less to talk about. I end up talking about, the look, the design, like the visual design, rather than maybe the mechanical design here and there. But it's fine. It's still great. Still love it. Still going to do it. But I realize now that when I went back to this week's game, the new Tetris, that was a bit of what I was missing, because some of this stuff started to pop up. This is a pre-guideline Tetris, but it's like just barely, to the point where I'm seeing some of these things and what they became now and being like, oh, okay, that's interesting. This is, like I said, very close to guidelines, so there are some things that were just popping up at the time when this came out in 1999 that, sorry, I'm in the studio, in the garage, and sounds happen, and who knows what they are. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of that with you, but again, it might take a bit, but again, fascinating, wonderful, loved it, so I hope that comes across at the very least. We are back in 1999. This was developed by H2O Entertainment, which it took me a second to figure out, where do I know them from? And it's when I went back. So the list I'm going off of, in fact, we can switch to the browser at this point. The list I'm taking from is from the Tetris Wiki. Sometimes I frequent, it's a Hard Drop, I believe. I'll have to look that up. Didn't get to that this week, but this is the list. You can see we're here in 1999 with the new Tetris, right in between the next Tetris and Sega Tetris, possibly, actually, because it doesn't make them chronological after the year. So I don't know. Somewhere around there is where this game took place. Again, just barely before. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. It sounds, it's disconcerting. It sounds like a bug. So I'm like, tell me there isn't like a bug about that. You should see the war that goes on in this studio. I just wanted to make sure the bugs weren't going to win it, weren't mounting a surprise attack. Real truth is that a lot of my soundproofing is with the heat that has come on. A lot of it is coming off. So I'm afraid one of the tiles is, number one, going to fall on me, but also that now my voice is reverberating more than I'm used to, and that's also what I'm hearing. So it's just going to amplify the more I talk, which is what I'm going to do and continue doing right now. So the H2O Entertainment, I don't know how much of this I mentioned last time we did this. Also, there's going to be the lighting in my studio largely comes from the monitors at my desk. I literally pull up a white screen and it looks good to my eye. But now that I'm going through some non-white screens, you're going to see the lighting quality vary wildly during the stream, especially since I'm going to have the actual game up over here on this monitor. So that's not going to be really brighten up my face at all. So H2O Entertainment, can't remember how much I mentioned when I played Tetrisphere. That's where I was headed. Went back to play Tetrisphere because the list I'm going through on Tetris Wiki is only the official Tetris games. And since Tetrisphere isn't, in fact, I guess it began its life just as Fear, which is, you can actually read that right here, P-H-E-A-R. I don't know how far along or if it still looked like Tetris at that point, which I wouldn't be surprised. Tetris clones are a dime a dozen. So I had blown past Tetrisphere, was looking forward to it and had blown past it because I had never played it, and had to go back because it wasn't listed in the official ones, and breaking all the rules over here. So that was my first introduction to H2O Entertainment, which turns out, if you read this here on Giant Bomb, was a Canadian company founded by a couple fellows that produced 5 games. I guess 5 games. I was unaware of this Spin Jam game, whatever here this is. No preview, so to speak. Okay. Possibly 4 to 5 games. And then was, say acquired, but apparently completed a reverse takeover with Canadian Entech, who subsequently closed the studio down in 2001. So that's all I could find, and honestly don't know if there's much more to H2O Entertainment rather than the games they put out, which we have played quite possibly 50% of at this, or will have played after today. Tetrisphere, which I didn't have a real problem with. I get why it's not an official Tetris, but it wasn't necessarily one I went back to either, but I was glad I played it and had some really interesting and fun ideas, I thought, regardless. But they also did Aiden Chronicles and the Flintstones Big Trouble in Bedrock, which I think was a Game Boy Advance title, yeah. So, and then obviously they peaked at that point and just called it quits. Something else that came out. So there's a website called The Cutting Room Floor that I will also bring up sometimes, depending on the game. It hasn't been an issue so much in this time period because, again, we're dealing with N64 games and stuff. So now we've got the technology, but also I feel like just back then it maybe didn't happen as much for N64 games. I'm probably wrong. I don't remember seeing one, certainly in the Tetris circles, or O pieces, should we say. I don't remember this much happening with any Tetris game so far, but there is all sorts of stuff to this new Tetris, the new Tetris. And I think what's happened in more ways than one, it's kind of the same thing that happened last week with Tetris Friends, where I was like, oh, I'm going to play this kind of one-off Tetris that maybe didn't have, was a blip historically speaking, and I was completely wrong. It was something that the community really latched onto, was bummed when it left. I feel like this game didn't necessarily hit. I mean, it's not like there was a huge library on the N64, and this would have been one of only 2 Tetrises, I believe, on that platform. We did play Tetris 64 already. So, I don't know, but people have dug into this more than many Tetrises, it seems like. Both from this point of view, on the Cutting Room Floor, they talk about how this is known for its developer rants. And I had just heard of one in particular, but apparently there are several. This is all the stuff that's hidden in the code here, just for a quick overview. This has an elegant copyright message, like it shows here. Hidden rants, you're going to find the Dave rant, which is Dave, apologies, Pretty's long rant. This is the one I had heard of, and sure enough, it goes on, and he is just getting it out. Like, I almost feel bad for the guy. It sounds like the working environment wasn't super great. He goes on about a supervisor named Dan or Don. it appears. He's blanking out one of the letters, so we're not sure entirely, although I bet it's been sussed out at this point. But you suck, and I mean suck, as a producer. You should go back to testing video games, but I doubt you could even manage that properly. I feel sorry for you. During this project, you just sat around and played video games, StarCraft and EverQuest. Don't even deny that. When you were working, it was making stupid Excel spreadsheets to try and tell me how many bugs I had left to fix on a graph. Like, what is that? Anyway, fascinating stuff. Go check it out. Like I said, it really does seem like he's getting some stuff off his chest. Unfortunately, it also seems like he passed less than a year after the game came out. January 12th, 2001. So no, it would have been a little over a year. But here he is here. So I guess shout out. This is by way of the Wayback Machine. This was kind of a memorial website that was set up that I guess might not be set up anymore. But shows all the games he worked on here. You actually get a really good idea for the guy. And again, here's a bunch of pictures of him as well. This one looks vaguely familiar. Like it's not going to pop up in the browser. Okay, anyway. So R.I.P. Dave Pretty. But there's also another rant from Lupin. 56 most loved things. I don't think, strictly speaking, these are all rants. I think Pretty kind of led the charge, and they've just been lumped into that. Although I guess it says end Lupin rant there, so there you go. There's some ASCII art in here, some mini rants by Psych Journey, B Slogan, Canada Slogan, Hate Slogan. Oh no, are these signed? Maybe they just aren't signed. Game Master. There's another ASCII of some mushrooms, which now that I think about it makes some sense, really. The BPS logo, the Canada flag, a weed leaf, the N64 logo. So, runs the gamut. Oh, this was a really funny bit. Again, fascinating to me. This intro part's probably going to take some time. Give people a chance to show up, right? And this is from, I guess, an anonymous guy from Reddit, maybe even a reply to a Reddit, but he says that there was a specific crash in the game that he could reproduce, and it kept coming back version after version, and he could still reproduce it. So I guess I think it was him who made the suggestion, because the game also has some literal secret codes that you can put in, which I love, and I'm hoping to take advantage of during this stream. But it says he one day joked that the developer should replace the crash screen, essentially. It says the hex dump screen, which I think is what it went to upon crashing or before locking up. But he said since they had some control over that, you should just replace that with this: congratulations, you have discovered a secret code. Turn your console off and back on, then enter the username Haluchi. So he did, and that's how it shipped. I guess the actual text is a little different than that, but essentially the idea went through that since it'll go to hex, just put up a message there that's like, you got a code, and restart the console for us. And I guess it worked. I mean, it worked in that it shipped with that and fooled at least a few people for some time, it seems, if that's not apocryphal. So, and then I love it when this happens, and I probably should search around more often, but I found the commercial from 1999 by way of whatever YouTube channel I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to play for you that commercial because it's pretty good, because it's pretty 1999, but also kind of well done for what it is. It and still kind of feels like a Nintendo commercial, like I showed for the Virtual Boy or whatever it is. Like, it still has something about it that's like you expect to hear you're playing with power at the end of it, even if you don't. So here you go. This is probably gonna, let me restart it first then. Really? Loading this 360p.
I mean, I can't believe Bobby did that to me. We're sitting there playing Tetris and he just dumps all over me. I mean, I thought we were friends.
Hey, if you can't pass the test, then leave the class. Besides, it wasn't me who dumped on him, it was Lewis.
Well then, let's bring out Lewis.
With the new Tetris, bury 3 friends in garbage and watch things really get out of hand. Only on N64.
It's number one, like a decent recreation. Like this bit right here actually gets me too. When they bring whatever his name is out.
Let's bring out Lewis.
Lewis. Like how it starts with the POV shot. Like somebody did their homework on this thing, actually. I think they probably could have gotten into the fight. This is the editor now and me speaking. Like I would have not cut so soon from the fight before going to the 4-player mode here. But I guess spiritually it was a good shot because this is the fight they want you to see. And the fight you're not going to see because I don't have that many people here with me. So I think maybe I've said all there is to say. Oh, thanks by way of Mawish65. It's the YouTube channel there. So, okay. Rather than chew your ear off about all this stuff I've highlighted here, I'm going to get the game going and maybe talk to you about this as it's going. Like I said, is number one a bigger deal, I think, than I understood. It's proto guideline, so it has some stuff in there that made its way to guideline, but it's also unique in ways I wasn't expecting, to the point that people have dug into it, not just like I showed you on that cutting room floor website, but also in terms of so the rotation isn't okay. Yeah, we'll get it started. I'll hopefully be able to multitask here as I talk to you about it, but it introduced to me the concept of tactical rotation, which I hadn't heard of before. So we'll see how much it messes with me at the same time here. Oh, and I did get it. That was the whole reason why it took me so long to play this, why we're going back in the first place, because I knew my analog 3D was coming, but it got delayed. If it hadn't been delayed at all, it would have been like crazy good timing. I would have got it right when we were at this point chronologically, but it did get delayed and whatever. So I've been holding this because I knew I could find a copy of the game. Even though, I released a video last week where I unbox the Analog 3D, which is what I'm using, and the new Tetris that I got off eBay, the cart. I'm actually playing with a cart here today. I could take it off and show you, but trust me. So go check that video out. It was fun. It's 10 minutes. It's no biggie. It just was more of a prelude to what I'm doing here today. So going to use the clean mode on and I can show you that maybe. Yeah, so you've got hardware and display options. I think I can mess with them more than I even have, but the kind of presets here with this were actually, it came standard on BVM, which looked like a type of CRT emulation. I'm gonna move it all the way to the right with clean. That's kind of what I've been doing. I think kind of what I prefer. I don't know. I never got into like the CRT emulation look. I get the importance of it because that's what many developers were coding for. Like that's what they were graphically designing for was CRT. So in a lot of ways, if you're playing with CRT emulation, you're seeing the game how it was intended by the artists involved. I'm not going to do that, so sorry, artists. You can leave me a nasty comment. Why did I say that? Otherwise, I'm going to shut up and let you see the intro. It's got one of those monolithic beginnings. Jitter there, I'm not really sure what's going on. So yes, the monumental Tetris intro has a long and storied history at this point. The first one I remember is still the CDI version, where it's literally some 2001 Space Odyssey stuff with the monolith there. I've been thinking about it since I did that video last week. In my head, it's like, oh, because Tetris itself is such a monumental game, it didn't really occur to me that graphically the blocks would really lend to that interpretation, because you know the people who did the CDI one are not the people who did this one, so it's parallel thought, not necessarily we just all love Tetris. So I won't have any scores or data. Music mode. Choose random auto. Okay. So I'm guessing auto means it will boot the songs at the appropriate time. Otherwise, we'll have to go back. I'm paranoid now because I did that Tetris Evolution stream where I went through all the music and was like, oh, check out all this cool music. And then it got like copyrighted 10 times to Sunday. So, let's see if I shoot myself in the foot again this year, or this time. Wonders... Are these kind of like achievements? Or am I going to be unlocking levels? It looks like it's just straight line requirements. It's a lot of lines. Holy. Topping out at 500,000 lines. Kind of surprised they didn't go to 1 million. So let's see if we can get 2,500 lines today and at least... Oh no, wait. Wait. Is this already unlocked? Can't understand what it's saying. It says I have 2,500 lines to go, but... Alright. I haven't even got this far into this game before. I do some preliminary stuff on most of the games I stream, so this is really going to be a discovery one here. Yeah, let's give myself a new name. Oh, interesting. So I can get a computer in here. So it's one of those issues where you choose your mode and then you can just choose whether or not you want an opponent. And we got 3 modes, really? Is that kind of where we're... Alright. Marathon doesn't have, if I understand correctly... Yeah, it continues indefinitely. So, I'm going till I die, which let's see if that means... Right. Okay, and this also introduced a term to me finally. Hold on. New Tetris introduces several new gameplay mechanics that will eventually become key components of the Tetris guidelines, such as multiple piece previews, whole piece ghost piece. And the reason it does multiple pieces is because it has this thing where if you... Which I'm just going to do on accident because I don't... Oh, okay. It had automatically held a T-piece for me. I think this might be the first appearance of holds as well. You can see the pieces kind of solidify as you put them in. If you make a square out of it, much like in the, is it called squares mode in Tetris Worlds, it will solidify into a gold or silver square depending on if you use, I think, the same or multiple pieces. But movement, I'm looking for the term. Movement is continuous. Give me a second. Progress. Okay. Still doesn't really give me any progress there on the progress screen, but... The new Tetris defines twists, known as the manual as spin moves. So yeah, this might have been an early codification of the different spins that you could do. Twist occurs when a tetramino locks in a position such as that it cannot move left, right, or up without rotating. This is known as immobile spin protection. Hard drop does not lock. This is almost sonic drop, actually. Somewhat flexible wall kicks and floor kicks. Where is the term? The music is by Neil Voss again, by the way. Same guy that did Tetris Sphere. Players can also form 4x4 large squares of 4 pieces to create blocks. They basically took what was like standard Tetris mode for the new Tetris and made that squares mode in Tetris Worlds, if I understand correctly. Game displays 3 upcoming pieces and includes a storage area, quote unquote, where where you can hold a piece. If a line is cleared by performing a spin move, all the pieces above or below the spin move break apart into individual blocks and fall down. So it's got like some cascade mechanics going on depending on what the spin is that you do. Well, I can't find it. Somewhere it mentions how it had an actual word for Oh, you know where it was. Tactical rotation, smooth falling animation. So that's why tactical rotation becomes a thing and why spins becomes a thing. Some of it sounds fairly emergent. Like, I'm curious how much of this was discovery along the way, but essentially, since there's smooth, I can kind of infinite spin here too. Look at that. Since there's no, like, it's not, it doesn't fall by large chunks. Now what would the opposite of this be called? I don't know. Since the animation is smooth like that, it means that there are certain, and again, I don't know if this is where the certain spins started to manifest because of this, or what exactly, you know, what the order of development might have been, but because of that, well, it really is hard to play and tell you about this at the same time. I see now what my mistake may have been. Cool Tetris effect. I mean, not the Tetris effect. Anyway, because of this smooth falling animation, there becomes a point where, like, if you have an overhang, you're actually not able to complete it. If you can't get the piece over there in time, because if it's even like one tiny little fraction too low, it doesn't fit. So spins became a thing. Again, I don't know if by accident or that was just a natural outgrowth. Oh no, didn't want to do that. And yet now I have. This might be a shorter game. Make up some ground here. Dang it. It's the fact that it's not locking is actually kind of messing with me. I read something crazy about the. Okay, there we go. They put it a really strange way too. There's a couple weird phrasings in the Wikipedia articles. Like, there's a legit, like, actual Wikipedia article, not just a Tetris Wiki article, that says, quote, "There are several key differences in gameplay from the original Tetris." So, I don't know what they're talking about, the original Tetris. Like, it's like, they're to compare this to the original Tetris at this point in time, number one, what original Tetris are they referring to? And also the comparison doesn't, I'm not sure what they're gaining from that. Hey, there I am. I'm like, this isn't, it sounds like they were total victims of the marketing or something, you know, like this was a new Tetris. It wasn't, and for a while it was probably the new Tetris, but that doesn't mean this is like, you know, this is after Tetris, or who knows how many Tetris 2s, you know, they tried that multiple times as well, so to talk like this is actually some kind of continuation other than, you know, another Tetris or the N64 version. It is trying some different things, I will say, obviously. It's unique in again, ways I didn't understand until very recently, but it's strange to me to talk about it like it's a T piece. No, I didn't wait long enough. Yeah, I'm having to get used to the lock delay here a little bit. Alright, yeah, we got a new song here. So it does kind of cycle through. Because of all those delays, though, it's kind of hard to really go ham. I don't even know what that was. Oh, that was the D-pad. Like, I didn't hard drop that. Must have jammed on the left so hard that it tickled the up button enough. Interesting. The animations are nice, and I can understand the temptation at this point in time. You know, N64 was a powerhouse. This still would have blown some people's minds right here. One of the cool parts about going through this chronologically is that I can tap into that still a little bit. Go back and watch the when I finally clocked in on the actual Game Boy version, like, you know, the version. After having played the ones I played up until that point, I was like, yeah, this is actually kind of mind-blowing that you would have this, like, and this good of a version in your hands. So, you can get that with this. It's maybe the downside to having done this out of orders, because I've definitely played some tighter Tetrises than this one, but at the time, it must have been pretty crazy. I wish I had started this series back in 1999, essentially. It also doesn't, yeah, it's just a little, like a little too many animations or delays. Again, didn't even mean to hard drop that. I'm going hard left, I gotta do like left and... Oh, that's what I was going to look up. I think this is, like it said, preliminary data suggests this could be a 63 bag version. So whereas, which I guess that they were experimenting with bags, a Tetris bag being the way they fake randomness, or I guess if they're experimenting with bags, they might be over faking randomness altogether and just trying to fine-tune, you know, what amount of random or what type of piece generation would make for better gameplay rather than just straight up random. You know, like if you can guarantee that you're going to get a line in or an eyepiece in so many pieces, then it would ideally make for more satisfying gameplay, because you're not sitting there and hoping for a piece and not getting it and really wondering why you didn't get it and somewhat upset because you didn't get it. But apparently somebody that dug into this, because again, mistakenly thought maybe people wouldn't have for this and was wrong yet again. They have found that this quite possibly might put 63 pieces into a bag. And that's what it's pulling from. And then when those 63 pieces are up, it resets. This will be the last for Marathon. I'll check out the other modes after this. I just wanted to get an actual decent try in. Whatever I did last game was not decent. Dang it, didn't go. Oh, you know, I wonder if this is. You would think I would have the default piece color just in my memory banks at this point, but we don't. I'm curious if this is adhering to that this early on in the guideline game. Where's Neil Voss's rant? Actually, yeah, let's hold on. I can take advantage of fake sonic drop here. I haven't made any blocks, have I? Just not how. I remember that didn't click. Even in the squares mode. Let's see if I can. I guess I could make a block if I just only use little eyepieces. There's also like no fanfare for level up at all. Kind of strange. Am I on? There's no, it doesn't say what the level is at all. What's going on here? That sucks. Oh, what was that? It's not what I had in mind. Okay, there we go. It's definitely getting faster, but yeah, all I have is 137 lines, 138, so it's just tracking that wonder progress. Or I guess progress for this game, but let's at least try. Okay, hold on. I'm not great at T-spins, but try to set one up here. Oh, could have done it with that actually. Okay, but it needs to clear some lines. Crap. Dang it! clear some lines with a spin. There should be some amount of cascading that happens. There we go. Now just give me a two-piece. Give me a two-piece. Okay, now give me, there it is. Jeez. Alright, here goes. Yeah, there you go. Okay. That was kind of an effect. That would have been wild, like, to discover that. I mean, I guess it was probably in the book, so if you read the manual, you'd be in the know, which back then, let's face it, we read the manuals, which actually I have the manual. The one I got off eBay came with the manual. I didn't always read the manual, though, actually, now that I think about it. I definitely eventually dug into that thing like it was a book. Like, I remember in elementary school, I would, like, bring Nintendo manuals, game manuals to school with me and read them. Because also, you know, like, especially if it was the Zelda one, I remember doing that with specifically. Because the story was in there, like, the lore, you know, the setup for the game maybe was in there. I guess maybe, no, I didn't do, strictly speaking, any fan fiction. Remember I did, I think just word for word copy the text of the manual at one point, which I don't know why, don't ask me. But would I have done that for a Tetris game? Because obviously there's no, like, not obviously for those of us that have played Tetris Worlds, but usually there is no lore to speak of in a Tetris game. Maybe I would have just dove in head first. The first time that cascade happened, I would have been like, what? Yeah, you really have to wait kind of in between each. Very purposely press the buttons, otherwise it's not. Can't just very quickly build things up. I do like, you know, that this is just Marathon. They've incorporated some weird rules that they would later take out, but this is just, it does, I guess, lend some credence to this being the new Tetris. Like, this wasn't just, like, Tetris 64 was probably just another Tetris. That should be the title for Tetris 64. Just another one. And this is kind of a new one, the way they've incorporated some of these different bits. Okay, if this is... No, I can't do the TGM3 thing where I kind of double click to get it to lock in. So yeah, I guess this introduced, or maybe owned, I don't think I've seen it pop up again since, the concept of tactical rotation, because since you can see it's moving in, oh, I forgot the name of it again, continuous falling, or however that goes. If there's an overhang, like, there are certain instances where it's impossible, like it's moving too fast and too incrementally to scoot the piece over quickly enough. You know, if there's a non-smooth falling, you've got time between steps to get the piece over to where you want it before it locks. feeling I'm going to regret that. Since you couldn't do that with this, they introduced, it seems, this concept of spins or twists. Not quite guideline style yet. So a lot of those. Gosh, stop giving me that. I don't think this is going to support much faster. I mean, again, a better Tetris player would do better regardless, but this gets too much faster. I don't know how you, with all the delays in here. Nope. No, dang it. I was like, maybe there was a T-spin in there somewhere. I messed it up. Actually, if the other mode is sprint, this is not going to be fun. For my taste, I don't know if this is... I don't like Tetris games that go for a really long time. Like, I felt like this... The ramp could have been a little bit crazier. Says the guy who's probably going to die here. Yeah. Oh, because there's no... yeah. If any piece is over the roof, you're done for. So, this definitely doesn't feature any of that stuff. Still no squares to date. We did get a T-spin in there. Ryan wins. 267 lines. What? Did the first game I played not count for some reason? I have 2,187 lines to go. I don't think we are going to see a wonder in this game. Ugh, let's get to it. My level 5? Is that what that is? Kind of a progression here. So good old sprint. You know what we could try? We will try to throw some opponents in there eventually. Sprint, of course. Oh yeah, I never finished the thought on tactical rotation. So the way, in fact here, this is the whole idea with tactical rotation. You can see like this bit, like this, you could make, but this is over too far now. So at certain speeds, you actually can't make that. So with the O piece, you're just out of luck, but with I pieces and L and J, there are certain swings and rotations and things you can do. Again, this is stuff, read this, like this is, people have worked this out to the T, so to speak, for this game in particular. So the math has been done. All right, 3-minute countdown. Let's see what we can do. I think if we're trying to unlock wonders, This is not much. Oh, okay. Could do with a restart button, I suppose. Oh no, it's still, I was going to say, now it's locking into place, but it is not. Wow, this is very Egyptian. Oh, that's the beat. It's not a good piece. Not that at all. Oh, I did it again. This is not conducive to a sprint mode. You gotta sit there and wait for it to lock every time. There's nothing you can do. It feels like the Beatles song where they were all tripped out on Eastern philosophy and within you, without you. Is that it? I don't know what I heard. I heard something there. Seconds. Trying to get the hang of it here. Nope. That one got hung up in a weird way, actually. Oh, you know, I think I still like it. I won! I guess just not dying is a win. Yeah, rank 5. I guess that's interesting if you're into like pushing it, but I would have locked on to the whole wonders aspect of this thing. Uh-oh. Okay. At least we get a little mini progress screen. Let's go to the hall. Oh, that's this, right. Oh, and I got a little pie chart going there. Oof, man. I'm gonna go down on a limb here and say, let's do Ultra, race to 150. This might not... Move faster. Doesn't really reward you for it. Sit there and wait. You have to lock in before you do anything. I guess this is like the last breath of them not figuring that stuff out. Like, in this case, Guideline was fantastic because it really probably did force them to sit down and be like, what is this delay serving? Like, why do we have to wait? Or at least it became a thing, you know, a setting you could manipulate in some games. Oh boy, where are you going? What spin is that down there? I don't know if that's possible. Now it definitely is. Wait for it to lock in. Only 2 lines to go. Nope. I mean, it was the time for it, but it also, the soundtrack kind of sounds like the Burnout. Well, I guess that was a little later. Animation for the hold piece is kind of funky. I think I can drop it. Hold! Oh, it didn't do it so much now. It'll rotate it into a certain orientation. They should at least do it to the point, like, if I drop the piece somewhere where it is done, like, no amount of anything is going to move it from where it's at. Then it would be variable, I guess. That wouldn't be ideal. People still would have figured it out, I'd say, but something about the piece behavior not being universal. I get why. Whatever. 63 lines to go still. How many lines was I doing? How many lines was I doing? That's a question for you. I don't mind the look, I don't mind the sound effects. It's really just the controls and kind of all of the delays they put in all over the place. I like the gameplay ideas. You know, maybe in a different world I would have invested myself in figuring out how to create squares and what I can do with those, etc., etc. But it's not happening on accident, that's for sure. Spin implementation is better. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. Nope, I'm gonna do that. Oh, why did I do that? Yeah, look at it. Let's do it. It'll give me another 2-piece, right? Right. Right. There it is. There we go. Oh! Really gotta rotate it the right way. Cannot infinite spin your T-spin. Or I guess you could have just been quicker about it. Oh gosh, how many lines do I have left? What am I going to 150, right? Also sounds vaguely like The Matrix, which this would absolutely have been. This would have been the same year as The Matrix, right? Fire starter right here. Neo Boss. I see what you're doing. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm moving. Sit there, wait for it to lock in. Don't move too fast. Oh, why that? That's what I want to know. The D-pad on the N64 controller feels okay. It is not... say is not built perfectly, but it's also however many years old now. The one I'm using. Although the joystick feels solid enough that I'm wondering if this got refurbed in some way. It's not my childhood N64, I'm sad to say. I sold that when I really needed the money, man. I didn't. eBay was just new and I had an account and traditionally been very fixated on living simply. Why would I need this N64? I said to myself. As a newlywed, I think? The early 2000s, probably, when I put it up on eBay for sale. Shouldn't have done that. Didn't have to do that. That's it. 1. I won 152 lines. I am still rank 5. So yeah, the me of today, as possibly the me of 1999, would have just clocked in on Marathon just to get the most lines possible in a day. Who knows? Maybe I would have got stuck trying to max my score or time for the other modes, but most of the time I bet I just would have been doing this. Let's try... It's kind of it, huh? This is a very N64 game, like this is like the GoldenEye of Tetris games in that it's okay, although I did like that campaign quite a bit. Yeah, GoldenEye single player mode is definitely more robust than what's going on here. But that was just a 4-player showpiece, you know, GoldenEye. So this is, I feel like, Tetris. When was GoldenEye? 97? So, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? Alright. Let's try. Do I go straight to master? It would. Okay, fine. Actually, no, that was good. Is Master not sending me any garbage yet? Oh no. Nothing for combos, it looks like. What does a T-spin do to this fellow? I doubt I'm going to have the wherewithal to find out. He's not hitting me very hard, honestly. What is this? Oh, what have you done? I mean, this is how hard it should be, given how hard it is to get a fast play with this game. But man, he really appears to be not doing well here. Of course, if I don't get an eye soon, I'm not going to be doing well either. Shoot! Okay, guess we're just doing this. Here we go. 2 in a row. Or have we figured out Tetris rubber banding at this point? Like if I get him anywhere near dead, he's just gonna magically rebound. Nope. Chicxulub. How did I just beat the master Tetris opponent? What? And not, like, I should give me a whole rank, right? What the heck? Oof, dude. Not since me becoming a grandmaster on satellite TV Tetris have I been so disappointed, insulted, and flattered at the same time. Maybe there's a bug with master. Let's try very hard. A pop. I like how it's giving my opponents names at least. That wasn't even like the gameplay is not conducive to computer versus. Because it's so hard for the human player to have to sit there and wait for stuff. They could very easily make a computer that quote-unquote cheats. But they apparently have not done that. But I feel like they could have done something more, given how poorly that last game was. Even, like, that wasn't, you know, that was a... I didn't do well. But certainly could have done more. Oh boy, stop giving me those pieces. Maybe that's what it is. They're like, he's gonna have to fight the RNG and the bad controls, so... Nope. Yeah, there's definitely no infinite spin and that I can't get an up and over. again, not a good showing on my part at all. Wow. The AI is bad, but like how AI is bad nowadays. That's crazy. Remember when you could just call video game AI and not have to specify? Wow. I'm just not... Guys. Like, I want to see what happens for your sake, but there's not enough to the game to make it worth it. We're an hour 18 already into this thing. Okay, what else am I doing? Eating lunch? Come on. Let's get rid of our opponents. Go back to marathon. See how many lines we can knock out here. Maybe once I get into a rhythm, it'll not seem so bad. Why would you do... This is like Gears of War style. Like, why would you make... I mean, I guess I know why Gears of War did it. Actually, you know what? No, I don't. I know why. I just don't... I don't agree with it. But why do people, developers even, do this thing? Where quantity over quality. I mean, they do it because that was games to a large extent at this time, I guess. You know, like reviews focused on how much game there was, you know, like worth was attached to how much game. Can I spin this one in? I don't think I can. Nope, I can't. And I blocked myself out for whatever I was going to do over there. Maybe, right? Hold on, let's try. No way. Nope, just locked in. Maybe if I find something interesting to talk about. This game, definitely far more interesting to talk about than play, quite possibly. I'm sorry, Dave Preedy, right? Lead programmer, designer, Mr. Dude, guy, man. It does say that BPS co-developed this with H2O, so... Tetrisphere, a better H2O game, if not Tetris, than this one. I'm sorry, guys. Bingo. No clear. It could be Sonic dropping more. Why did I do that? Right, don't worry about it. Just keep going. Just keep Tetrising. See if we can... I should just stop right now. I know I'm gonna finish whatever, because this still in my memory from several minutes ago was not a quick enough Tetris game. This is going to take longer than I'm comfortable with. Playing a game I'm not comfortable with to discover that I would still have to play far too much more of it to unlock whatever a wonder is. I mean, I guess they're going for the 7 wonders, I guess would be my thing there, but it's a cool concept. Like, it's a very basic thing that could have got me hooked in a different context if the game itself was a little bit more, felt better. Maybe this won't take that long. Especially if I can't, okay. Let's see, especially if I can't get that line over there. Yeah, no combos at all. Not even giving me a ding or anything. Which, now I can't remember if that was, like, had combos been introduced? I guess I don't know if score-wise combos were a thing yet, but there were definitely Tetrises before this that would recognize when you got a single and a triple, etc., etc. Remember? Because they would tell you every time. Single! Do not like the hesitation. May very well be the death of me here. Oh boy. Yep, I can't go even one over. 73 lines. How close am I now? I won 73 lines. Like it's an award of some sort. 18 lines needed. What a nice round number. That's where it might stay forever and ever and ever. It's not the worst game, not the worst Tetris, but I think it's enough Tetris for today. So, boy, what was more interesting? All that lead up in my eyes, or the actual gameplay? Definitely the lead up. And we learned about tactical rotation, right? What could be better? And Mr. Preety, you know, what a fun little personal bit that we'll all remember. Tetris is fun. It's a game for all time. The new Tetris, I own a copy of it. Hey, it doesn't always pan out. Come back next week where I think we go current. Hold on, let's not speak out of. Ooh, okay. We could go back to some Java mobile games. Shy, where you at? Harddrop.com is the name of that website, by the way. That's kind of also a Tetris wiki. We've done the Blue Lava collection. Yeah, we do have some more EA mobile Java games we could technically dip into. And they're not, like, they've got some meat to them. Tetris Pop, Tetris Revolution. That would put us current in 2009. So maybe we're just back in 2009. I don't know. I'll figure it out by next week. That's my promise to you. I will figure it out by next week. Tomorrow, if you're Chasers compliant, now I can't forget that word, go to the Chasers channel and watch Evelyn and I open up another few packs of DC cards. speaking of deep poles, I guess I don't know if the new Tetris is a deep pole. It feels like it is. Historically, it's an important Tetris that functionally just maybe isn't a whole lot of fun, in my opinion. So it's a fun dichotomy regardless. Maybe Chasers is the same for you. Maybe you're not a huge DC Comics fan, or like Evelyn and I, you just don't know a lot about them. So every character is a revelation in one way or another. So I think it's a lot of fun. I think Evelyn and I have fun on camera, and I do think you'll have fun watching it. So even if you're not maybe into the characters so much, just pay attention to the little bits I've edited in painstakingly over the last few weeks. And either way, we'll be back next week with another Tetris at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. I think we just got out of daylight PDT, so now we're PST. With something quite possibly from 2008 or 2009. That much I can promise. So thanks for hanging out, as always, and we'll see you later.